ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وما كنتم تستترون أن يشهد عليكم سمعكم ولا أبصاركم ولا جلودكم ولكن ظننتم أن الله لا يعلم كثيرا مما تعملون وذلكم ظنكم الذي ظننتم بربكم أرداكم فأصبحتم من الخاسرين فإن يصبروا فالنار مثوى لهم وإن يستعتبوا فما هم من المعتبين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم. أما بعد, we praise and thank Allah Ta'ala, we send salawat on our beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family, friends, and all those who follow. In yesterday's verses, we saw that people will appear on the day of Qiyamah, and their hearing and their sight and their skin even would testify against them. And they will then address their bodies to say, why did you testify against us? They will tell their skin, why did you testify against us? And the skin and the hearing and the sight will all say that the one who created us is the one that made us speak, and he created us the first time, and we have all returned back to him now, and we speak under his command. Today's verses 22, 23, and 24 of Surah Fussilat, Allah goes on and he says, وَمَا كُنْتُمْ تَسْتَتِرُونَ أَن يَشْهَدَ عَلَيْكُمْ سَمْعُكُمْ. And تَسْتَتِرُونَ أي تَسْتَخِفُونَ عِنْدَ أَكْثَرِ أَهْلِ الْعِلْمِ. So you were afraid of, you would steer away, you will hide away, أَن يَشْهَدَ عَلَيْكُمْ, that your hearing will testify against you, وَلَا أَبْصَارُكُمْ وَلَا جُلُودُكُمْ, and your sight and your skins as well. In other words, you now had some idea that you would be questioned, but then you wanted to run away. You wanted to hide away from the fact that your hearing and your sight will testify against you. وَلَكِنْ ظَنَنْتُمْ, but you also believed أَنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَعْلَمْ, that Allah does not know كَثِيرًا مِمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ, a lot of what you have been doing. You believed that Allah was not aware of what you were doing. So in other words, it's like Allah knew already before your hearing and your sight and your skin testified against you. So why must you still go testify again against me, even though Allah already knows, right? Because that's most now, how do we say, it's plucking stamps on against me, right? And that is what the hearing and the sight will then do. Even though Allah already knows, the testification and the testimony is to confirm what then had happened, so that no alternate proof can be brought against such person to say, well, you actually did, because now the sight and the hearing confirms what Allah already knows. وَذَلِكُمْ ظَنُّكُمْ, that was your own incorrect belief, الَّذِي ظَنَنْتُمْ بِرَبِّكُمْ, which you had thought of regarding your Lord, أَرْدَاكُمْ, it had destroyed you. The fact that you thought that Allah does not know, the fact that you thought that you could have hid it away from Allah, that is the thought that destroyed you. فَأَصْبَحْتُمْ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ, and you then became of the losers. فَإِن يَصْبِرُوا, and if they now make sabr, if they persevere on that path that they had taken, فَالنَّارُ مَثْوًى لَهُمْ, the fire will then be their abode. وَإِن يَسْتَعْتِبُوا, and if they ask for some respite, if they ask to be given some release, if they were asked to be allowed, given some allowance, perhaps that they not enter into that fire, or that they not be succumb to that punishment, فَمَا هُمْ مِنَ الْمُعْتَبِينَ, they will not be allowed, says Allah. They will have to go through that punishment because of what they had done in this worldly life beforehand. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us to realize the extent of the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah knows every single thing. There is nothing that is ever done on the face of the earth except that Allah is well aware about it. No thing, a big thing, not a small thing, إِلَّا فِي كِتَابٍ مُبِينٍ, except that it is written down in a clear record that Allah is already well familiar with. So we might then ask also, what is the other point or the part part of the day of Qiyamah, that we must all return, so that Allah can fill us into what all those blanks were. So many things that you and I were not aware of, how this happened or how that happened, or all the deeds and the actions. I didn't even already forgot all the actions in my own life. Subhanallah. Those things I will be reminded of on the day of Qiyamah. And then Allah Ta'ala will then, of course, prove the life that I had lived, and Allah will then allow entry into Jannah, or Allah will give entry into Jahannam. May Allah Ta'ala grant us reward and His favor and His pleasure, and may Allah Ta'ala save us from His punishment. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم تب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.